All right, we are joined by Oregon head coach Dana Altman. We'll open up with a statement from Coach Altman, then open up to questions. Once again, we ask that you please raise your hand and identify yourself and your affiliation prior to asking a question. That way we know who we're talking to. Coach, welcome to Anaheim. The floor is yours.
This is a great opportunity for our basketball program. Duke is a brand all by itself in college basketball, and it's a great opportunity for our young team to play on this stage, and hopefully we'll play well.
Right here in the front row. We'll go two in the front row.
Myron Metcalf, ESPN. Dana, you're the last team, your team's last team standing from the Pac-12. How fair is it to use, the Pac-12 losses as a standard of measuring, the power of the league overall?
I think every year, 1, 2 leagues are, evaluated by not performing well in the tournament. I think last year was the Big 12. It's something that every league goes through because there's so much emphasis on the NCAA tournament. But our league had a great year, and we've got a lot of young talent in our league. The competition, throughout the season was outstanding. I've only been in the league 6 years, but it was our best year top to bottom. I'm a little disappointed, like everyone in the Pac-12, that we didn't fare a little better here in the tournament. But it doesn't take anything away from a great year, and I think the future is really good for our league. But we haven't done well, and that's fair. I mean, we will take criticism for that. But again, we had a good year, and again, I think as long as I've followed the tournament, someone always gets it. At this time of year, they're always picking at somebody for not doing well in the tournament.
Jeff?
Dana, Jeff Eisenberg with Yahoo Sports. I wondered if you could take me back 6 years. I know you had opportunities to leave Creighton before that. What was it about the Oregon job that was such a good fit for you?
It was a really difficult decision to leave Creighton. I had 16 really great years there, and people were unbelievable to us in Omaha. I'm from Nebraska. My wife's from Nebraska. Our families live there, so it was a real tough decision. And I just, at that time, I'd been at Creighton 16 years, and I needed a little bit of a change. Creighton needed a little bit of a change, and so this was an opportunity. When they came to talk to me, I listened and I was intrigued. I've joked a number of times over the years that I'm not sure if I was their 38th or 39th choice, but by the time they got to me, I was excited. And Pat Kilkenny and the people I talked to, we're excited about what we could do at Oregon, and so it just happened to fit.
We're going to got 3 on this side, start in the back and work our way up.
E.J. Jacobson with Rivals.com. Coach, this team seems to have improved, from the beginning to this point, and now it seems to be like peaking at this time, your team. What areas would you say have improved the most for your basketball team this year?
The communication we've had defensively has improved throughout the season, and because of that, we're a much better defensive team now than we were earlier. We had a lot of room to grow into because we were not very good early. And Jordan Bell missed our first 10 games, and Jordan's really helped our depth, and he's a good shot blocker, as is Chris. So that has really helped our defense. The last 10 games, I think we've only been out-rebounded twice. St. Joe's beat us by a couple, and Arizona beat us on the boards. But the other 8 games, our rebounding's been pretty good. I think throughout the year we've shared the ball pretty good and made plays for each other. So I would have to say our defense and rebounding has improved a little bit throughout the season. And, I thought our ball movement, with the exception of St. Joe's, I didn't think we moved the ball well offensively there at all. But with the exception of that game, I thought, our guys have done a pretty good job of sharing the basketball.
Right here in the 5th row, please.
And a 2-part question. One,
could you identify yourself, please?
Steve Bemson, Register Guard. Does playing Duke, do you see that as an opportunity for Oregon to name out on the national stage and maybe boost the profile of Oregon basketball? And the second part, you played them in your 6th game, a little different circumstances. What's kind of your recollection of where the programs were then and the little difference now?
Well, rather forget that game. But that was our first year, and we were not very good. You know, we had guys that really wanted to be there and really wanted to compete, but you know, I think Duke was coming off a national championship there also, and they got us pretty good. But anytime you get an opportunity to play someone as this well established as Duke, Coach K, it's a great opportunity. You know, our basketball tradition is not that great. We're working hard to improve that. And this is a point in our time that we need to play well. You know, we need to play well on the national stage against someone that is very good and has proven themselves. So it is an opportunity for our program, no doubt.
Joseph?
Joseph DiPolito, Raleigh News and Observer. 2 questions, Coach. First, about Chris Boucher. What has most impressed you about him this season, either on or off the court? Where do you think he has grown the most since he came to Oregon? And about Duke, what are the biggest challenges, either in terms of individual matchups or tactics that Duke presents?
First of all, Chris has been outstanding to work with. He's a young man that wants to be a basketball player, wants to improve, and everything he does on campus is to get better, academically, you know, socially, and with our basketball team. He's been a great addition to our program, and really have enjoyed working with him on and off the court. It's been a lot of fun. The second part of the question, Duke creates a lot of problems because they score. You know, Ingram, Allen, they got guys who can score. And so it really puts pressure on your defense, transition defense, their ability to shoot from 3, and they take a lot of threes, you know, and that's been a problem for us all year, pushing out on 3-point shooters. So it's going to be a big test for us. We're going to have to do a much better job of you know, forcing them off the line a little bit and getting out and guarding their 3-point shooters. And I think a big key in the game is going to be rebounding. We're going to have to rebound the ball.
Right here in the front row, please.
Myron Metcalf, ESPN again. Tyler Dorsey has been one of the best 3-point shooters in the country this year, one of the best in the Pac-12. I think he's 2 for 9 in the first 2 games of the tournament. What have you told him to try to help him get back into a rhythm and to shoot the way he has throughout the season?
Well, to keep shooting. He's confident. He hit the big one late against St. Joe's. You know, just because he's missed a few, you know, he's shooting 42, 43% from 3. You know, he's got to keep shooting the ball. We opened up the second half, ran a play to get him a 3, you know, just to try to get him going, and he missed it, but it didn't slow him down. You know, he plays with tremendous confidence, and we want him to be aggressive from the 3-point line. I think any time a player struggles a little bit, you always look for good ones. You know, guys that are on a roll, you kind of give them a little bit more of a green light, and when you're struggling just a little bit, you take a step back and really look for a good one to get that confidence going again.
Jim, go ahead.
Jim Alexander from the Press Enterprise in Riverside. A couple of questions about Dwayne Benjamin. What were some of the things you saw in him when he was at Mount San Jacinto? And he's now a pretty solid bench player. How did he handle the transition between starting and coming off the bench?
Dwayne has been all about the team ever since he's been with us. He's done an outstanding job of blending with last year's team and this year's team in a role that's been different for him. And he's very unselfish. When anybody asks, I say we got 7 starters. I'm not afraid to rotate our top 7 in any direction. I think Jordan Bell, who started for us last year but missed the first 10 games because of an injury, you know, his minutes, Dwayne's minutes, we mix and match combinations with those 2 guys a lot of different ways. And the first part of your question, I like Dwayne's athleticism, and I liked his competitiveness. And he's given us those 2 things both seasons with us at Oregon. very competitive. His length, on the front of our press gives some people problems. His athleticism, is really good, and so he's helped us there. So he's been a real mainstay for us for 2 years, and we're going to miss him. He and Elgin have made big-time plays for us, and we're going to miss both those guys.
We got Steve, then we'll go up front to Jeff.
Dana, how do you match up against Brandon Ingram?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. He's a unique player because of his size and his ability to go inside and out. He's very versatile. So he's a tough matchup for everybody. 18, 19 points a game. He's been tough for everybody to match up with. As I mentioned earlier, they score 81 points a game, and Allen and Ingram are their first two, and Kennard gives them a third score. So they've got guys who can score, and it's going to test us defensively in all facets of our defense: transition defense, half-court defense. They give you a hard time in a lot of areas.
Jeff, go ahead.
Dana, again, going back to the hiring process a little bit, I think that you met with Pat Kilkenny in Indianapolis. Is that right? And if so, can you describe that meeting a little bit? And, was there anything that he was able to say that made you confident in taking the job, and vice versa, and him wanting you?
I don't know. 6 years ago, but, I felt comfortable talking with Pat. I remember it was a long meeting. And a lot was discussed, but, I did have a lot of confidence in him. The other people that I talked with at the university, just a couple, I could get the sense that they were really wanting, because of the new facility, to have a basketball program. And again, it was a good time, and personally for me, to make a move. So it was a good meeting, and Pat's been very supportive the 6 years I've been there.
We got time for one more question. It's going to be in the very back. Got about a minute left.
Jermaine Franklin with TSN. Coach, can you talk about the contributions of the Canadians on the team individually and together in Boucher, and of course
Dylan Brooks.
Brooks, yes.
We've had great success with the young men from Canada. It started with DeVoe Joseph and Olu Ashalou and Jason Calise and Dylan and Chris. And Dylan Ennis has been a big part of our team, even though he hasn't been able to play because of a foot injury all season. His leadership off the court has been a big plus. But Chris and Dylan, for this year's team, have been so much fun to work with. The tremendous progress that Dylan Brooks has made as a player and his maturity. I'm really excited for him. He's been a big part of our team a year ago, but he's even bigger this year. And it's all because of his work ethic. He's put a lot of time in to change his body, to improve his skill level. And he's given us a big lift this year. Chris, we weren't sure what we were getting with Chris. You look at him, and he's pretty thin, and I wasn't sure how that would translate from junior college to the Division I level. But he is a competitor. He's very coachable. He's a fearless shot blocker. So those two guys have given us a big lift. So we've had great success, and all those guys from Canada have been so much fun to work with. We've really been fortunate.
All right, with that, we're going to have to wrap it up. Thank you, Coach Altman. Good luck tomorrow.